Hi everybody, this is Dr. Fang-Mei Law from Tiffin University. This is for data analysis section for many of my students. Right now you are in the process for running the data for your research project. It's kind of unfair. We're supposed to be in the class and I'm supposed to be show you how to run SPSS. But due to coronavirus, right now you are home, I'm home, so I try to see how can I able to help you out. So I decided maybe I should try to record some video in terms of how to run the data, okay? And I will do one by one. So I need you to be patient and then see how, the section I introduced relate to your data, and even now exactly I want you to practice so you get familiar with what's going on, okay? So before we started, just give you a little bit review. I think we may talk about a little bit in the class before we all send back home. So for the data you collect, okay, they can be scale, that in SPS language they use scale. That means can be interval data or ratio data. And remember, ratio data, I mean they have absolute zero, and then interval data mean they are no zero, but this means the number is continuous, right? But also you can be collect data, use nominal data, like a lot of your research, maybe you ask people true, false, you ask people yes, no, or you ask people, what kind of social media they prefer, or you ask people like, you show a case, you say, should be sentenced into, jail, or they should be, how many years, or something like that, right? Or you say, is this sexual assault case or this is not, okay? So something like that we consider is nominal data, okay? So then different kind of data, they require different kind of data analysis, okay? So today actually I'm going to focus on nominal, so hopefully even you are not using nominal data, I still encourage you to continue to watch so you can see how SPS can helping out to run this kind of data. Okay, are you ready? Okay, I'm going to move the screen back to my computer. Okay, so for this, okay, so how do we conduct data? Okay, as I mentioned, this time I'm emphasize about chi-square, okay? So first of all, when you look at your data, you ask yourself, what is your data? Is it nominal data or scale, okay? So if you are nominal data, then you ask yourself, if you want to test for the statistical significance of the relationship between two nominal data. Okay, so for example, you want to see if their gender relate to their idea about their answer for your true or false questions. Okay, then if that is your case, then you can run something called the chi-square for independence. The chi-square for independence. Okay, so actually to run this, first of all, you need to know how to write the hypothesis, okay? Each different kind of statistic, the way they write the hypothesis will be different, okay? So for this one, if you are running chi-square for independence, you need to have a two hypothesis. One is null hypothesis, one is research hypothesis, okay? And just keep in mind, whenever you say null hypothesis, that means you have something, you will say not. Okay, so even your main point, you want to see if these two variables, they have association, that's your research hypothesis. But you also need to have an opposite one called null hypothesis. You will say there is not a significant there is not a significant association between your variable 1 and variable 2, okay? And here I use the example. I'm going to show you this data. That is the one we use in the class, okay? Remember, when we practice SPSS in the classroom, we have the data like this, okay? So in here, I have a variables like Q1, Q2, Q3. They are actually, it's more like scale. But then I have a variable here. I can consider like actually their day of class, class time, morning, person, work status, they all belong to nominal data, right? So to demonstrate this, I'm going to use morning person and work status. Okay, so then if you remember my PowerPoint, right? So then I say, I want to see if if my participants, their working status have anything to do with their morning person or not. Okay, maybe I assume if people they work part-time, maybe they less likely like to wake up in the morning, so we call they are not morning person. How about if people they are full-time? So I'm curious about if these two variables have anything to do with each other. Okay, so that's why you say non-hypothesis say they are not, but your research hypothesis say yes they do. And make sure you're aware of this, because in your research paper, you need to write down your research and non-hypothesis similar like this, depend on what kind of statistics you use, okay? So to run this, okay, first of all, you have to say you set up your significance level is 0.05. That means when we do research, you can run 100 times, but you allow have a 5 times maybe they just occur, change alone. Okay, and usually when we in the social science field, we use 0.05. And this level is very important when we are doing our interpreting our result. Okay, so how do you do that? In my PowerPoint, I have step by step, but I think it would be a good idea. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, so remember, this is for chi-square for independence. Okay, so to do that, first of all, you put your cursor to here. Okay, anybody remember I say when you do SPS, pretty much you get to this analyze this column, pretty much everything's there. Okay, so then you click here. Let me make sure my screen is straight. Okay, so you click here. Okay, then you go to descriptive. Then under descriptive, you move to cross tab. Okay, you move to cross tab. So you have this screen, right? So I move, actually let me move back so I can show you how do I do that. Okay, so you move your work here, that means my work status. Okay, and I move my morning person here. Okay, even these two in different position, you can move morning person there, work here, but then I prefer to put work there and morning person here. Okay, then after you do this, you click statistic. Okay, you have to go here, and this you will check the chi-square. Okay, you have to check chi-square, otherwise they don't run for you. Then you click continue. Okay, then you go to sales here. Okay, then you want to click, you will see actually when you click, observe will be automatic there but not expected. So you have to click expected. Okay, then because this is important data, they help you to run against your observe and then see are they have significance or not. Okay, Then you go to continuous. Okay, and then okay. Now you will see the table. Okay, you will see the table. Okay, so the table here, okay, you can see they show you in the people have no job, 2 people not morning person, 7 people they say yes they are morning person. Okay, and then for the part-time, 5 people say they are not morning person, and 7 people say they are yes they are morning person. And then for full-time job, people full-time job, 7 say they are not morning person, and 2 people say they do. Okay, so you do see the number, they are kind of different, but what's that mean? Does it mean they are really different? We don't know, and this we are looking here. Okay, so if you look at here, they say Pearson chi-square. Do you see that? And so Pearson chi-square, that's the number you are looking for. Okay, so you are looking for this your chi-square, this your chi-square value. So when you write the report, you say my chi-square value is 5.781. My degree freedom is 2. Okay, so degree freedom, how do you calculate? Actually, is column minus 1 times row minus 1. Okay, so 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1, right? So then you get 2. Okay, then here, this number is very important. Here you see the number is 0.056. Okay, now you compare this number with the one we talk about 0.05. This number have to be smaller than 0.05 to be significant. This number have to be less than 0.05 to be significant. Okay, now when you write your research paper, I allow you copy paste this chart to your paper so you don't have to create yourself. So how do you copy paste? Let me show you. You can click your right side mouse, okay, your right side, your mouse, and say copy. Okay, and then you open a Word document. Okay, just open a new one. Okay, open the new one. Okay, and then you can what? Paste. See that? So then in that way, then you can continue to write your paper, right? You don't need to create, but also another one I want you to copy paste is this one. This one is very important. So click your right side mouse and say copy. Okay, then go to the Word document you just opened. Where is my Word document? Okay, here. Okay, and I just click right side mouse and say pass. Okay, make sure you pass the one with the line, with the clear table, because sometimes you can copy paste and they just give you the one have no line and no section separate. Okay, so make sure you put the one like this. Okay, only copy paste the one I need. Don't copy paste everything, because SPSS pretty much give you everything. You don't need to have everything. Okay, so once you finish, okay, then let me go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, let me go to the, okay, so that's your second level. So you know why you want to set alpha level 0.05, because you use that to compare with your number. Okay, so this actually the process I just show you. So actually I don't need to repeat right now, but this PowerPoint will be with you so you know how to go back. Okay, now, and so you have, so then when you report your result, okay, I want you to copy paste these tables. Okay, so I just copy paste from Word and to this PowerPoint. Okay, so then after that, then you need to write the make a decision and report the result. So this actually will be in your result section. So your result section have to include the one we say the hypothesis. Okay, you need to include this for each hypothesis. In each research, in your research you can have a multiple hypothesis. If one of them is less, then you set up this. Okay, and then you say your alpha level. Actually, this one you can put under your data analysis section. Okay, you say your alpha level is 0.05. You can also put here if you want to say one more time. And then this table, and then this sentence. Okay, this sentence it's very important. That means you make decision. Okay, and you feel free to use the words I use. It's okay. So you can say a chi-square test of independence was calculated. Compare the frequency of what? So your first variable. Okay, whatever variable you have, for example, maybe your gender. Then I say, for example, working status, because this one, the data I just show you, and then variable 2. Okay, so then I say, for example, morning person. Okay, now, did you aware? Because our number, this number, right, this number is greater than 0.05. Okay, this number is greater than 0.05. So if that number is greater than 0.05, then that means you did not find any significant relationship between your two variables. So you need to say no significant relationship was found. Okay, then you need to report your chi-square number. So chi-square, okay, then this 2 is come from this here. Okay, come from this 2, right? So come from that. So that 2, okay, and then equal 5.781, right? Remember that is from where? Here, 5.781, okay? And then your P actually is that number. This H is your P, okay? That's your P. That means your probability. Okay, so that is your P, okay? P, but you don't have to write. You just write P. And then tell me, are they greater than 0.05 or they are less than? Okay, if they are greater, that means they are bigger than your rejection area. Okay, so then that means your hypothesis is no significant. So that means you have to say, oh, in my research, actually according to this, right? Later when you do in more detailed explanation, you can say the working status is nothing to do if they are able to wake up in the morning or not. Okay, nothing to do with their preference to be wake up early morning or not. Okay, so actually these are steps. Hopefully you don't find this is hard. So then actually in your PowerPoint, I also link, they have a link from YouTube. They also give you a good explanation about how to run the SPS for chi-square for independence. Okay, so hopefully you find this is helpful. And I'm going to post this in your Moodle and for you to learn more detail. Okay, so any questions for me? Hopefully this is helpful. Okay, so then go and I will post the data as well. So I want you to go and try and practice and then figure out, see if your data you can use some of your question or something to do, use this chi-square for independent. And if not, it's fine. It's not mean you have to use all the statistics I introduced. As long as you do some practice, so you have some idea. Okay, so hopefully you find this helpful. Then I see you next time. Bye-bye.